the rest of the story, and I forgot my other camera. I don't have my microphone on me, but we got a little bit of everything we want to get done. We're going to get done today, of course, but Dad and I are going to clean out some of this lot, and then once we get done doing this, I don't know if you guys are even, yeah, that's kind of steady. We get done doing this, we gotta go out to my brother's place and haul in, and I don't know what the plans are. I really should have chased the cows out first before I did this, or open up the gates, because when they get out through there, they really don't have anywhere else to go other than the side road. Come on, girls. Anybody that's asking how the cows are doing, the sun's not blinding you. Come on, girls, let's go. Come on. As you can tell, they are really wild. Come on. Really dangerous. I get leery every time I walk into the cow lot. Come on, girls. Come on. Go. Come on. Get. Yeah, right. They're very, very afraid. Come on. Come on. Go. Come on. No updates on the babies. Largely because there are no new calves yet. Junior is hiding out in the pasture. Come on. I gotta put the camera down. Yep, and just like I said, those cows are really tame. Either I got really lucky, or I don't know, maybe I'm just good at looking for cattle, I don't know. So we went ahead and cleaned out some of our cow lots, and we took out about 10 loads out of here. I don't know how much Dad and Ryan ended up hauling out, because Ryan took over when I went out to his place and cleaned out that pole shed. I ended up going out and running field boundaries with Gator and our ag leader monitor. I'll probably do a video on that later on here. So yeah, it's finally starting to dry up enough we can get out and do stuff, which is, 2 thumbs up and awesome. But we haven't really gotten carried away thinking about tillage. I'm starting to see it's a little bit of a trend going on right now. A lot of guys are getting out and starting to do a little bit of something. Yeah, I can see that, but the problem is a lot of our ground is still wet. It looks like it's dry. It is dry, like right on the top, but if you go through and actually take off that surface, it's still practically mud underneath. So it is the 2nd of April. I mean, it's definitely drier today than what it was yesterday. They're calling for rain tonight, rain tomorrow. I don't know what that's really going to do to the soil. It really depends on the following weather after that, if it's going to be warm and somewhat sunny, blue sky, whatever. But maybe we'll be looking at doing some tillage next week. I mean, I really don't want to wait any longer than we have to. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm actually pushing to, let's go get some tillage done. Especially for the amount of work we have to do yet this year. 100% of our chisel plowing has to be done, and I'm gonna really try to hope that we really don't have to do any disking, VTing before we chisel, because normally when the stalks sit over winter like that, running it through the chisel plow, they usually become brittle enough that they will flow through the chisel plow without plugging it up. Saves on fuel. Even though fuel is getting cheap, it's still an unnecessary expense, and just trying to, especially with everything going on with the markets right now, you really have to be watching where your costs are going. So we're saving some money, kind of, not really, spreading more fertilizer. I spread that the dry fertilizer on my hay ground yesterday, and just trying to get some of these odd jobs, these random jobs done as we can, because the window to actually spread this wasn't super big. I mean, we really didn't have much for frozen ground, and when we did, we had an abundance of snow, and we really don't want to get too carried away spreading a lot of manure on top of snow, because then it melts off and it runs off. I mean, we all know that story. So today was like about the best day we had to really haul, I guess, and we utilized it. For the amount of manure we have, we'd like to try to get out as much as we can before we go ahead and start doing any tillage or any field work, because once we do, it's really unlikely, even after we chisel it, before we plant it or seed it, once you chisel it, the ground's worked up. You really don't want to drive, especially a spreader like this with the narrow tires on it, and cause compaction, which is exactly what you would do. So anything that we don't get hauled out here within the next 2 to 4 weeks, I'm not sure when we're going to start planting. The corn planter's still in the back of the shed. We'll just get pushed outside into a big pile and left to compost until this fall. And then hopefully either after soybeans, we'll spread it on our soybean stubble in the fall, or whatever else as we have time to do so. This spreader, it's old school. I mean, it's set to slow because it is an old web spreader, and I absolutely hate web spreaders. If you guys really would want to know why I don't like web spreaders, you are currently looking at it. I do not like this machine. I mean, it's doing the job it is being asked to do currently, but there's a reason why it's only on the slow setting. I mean, other than the fact that we are trying to spread this bedding out as lightly as possible, because we don't want any big clumps throughout the field, because the goal is to just come behind and hit this with the VT and plant it. So I didn't want to come back through and chisel it. But the web in this thing over the years, I think we've put a few different webs in this spreader. This used to be my grandpa's. We bought it off as a state sale because we needed a spreader. It was shot when grandpa had it, and it is not improved. I'll tell you that. We don't really run that much through it. We haven't year over year, but there's a reason for that. I mean, we try to strategically plan for when we're going to spread manure, because we're not entirely sure on how reliable this machine is. I mean, it's getting worn out. I mean, it hauled manure every day, like for years, all winter, and that is like the hardest thing you can do, is run dairy manure through an old web spreader like that, because then you're constantly beating on it in the middle of the winter, getting all the ice and everything off the web and off the slats, and it's hard on them. So myself, yes, hydro push vertical beater spreader, exactly what I want. I want to keep growing my cow herd. I have every intention of those cows and those calves you saw earlier in the video, cows and maybe a little glimpse of a calf. I'm not sure if I actually caught him, but I'm going to keep growing my cow herd. All the heifers are staying unless they have something funky going on, and I'm going to keep pushing the cows on at least in my books. So, but I don't want 100% heifers. That'd be great. 50-50 preferably, because at least that way I can take half of them and put it towards my loans. And my kids are getting loud back there. So, yeah, blue sky, decent weather, no tillage for the next couple days yet. I know some guys are probably getting excited for it, but this tractor and an empty spreader, if I was going across a soybean stubble or the corn ground there on either side of the screen here, I was cutting in a lot more than I really cared to, for not even doing any tillage. But it's still soft underneath, and like I said, I'd rather wait a couple more days and do a better job with my time and with the fuel it's going to take to do it. So you guys will be involved with that. The videos are going to keep ramping up. And it's the second, so I mean, we're actually still pretty early yet. I mean, typically I figure the middle of April. So, but the only problem is it doesn't take very long to go from being early in the field to a week or two of bad weather to being late. I mean, that was a perfect example of last year. So we're back to the lot, and yeah, I don't know. I'm ready to start getting on with the rest of this year. Get past some of the stuff that's been going on the last couple weeks, month or so. I think everybody else agrees. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you watch, and you like the videos you see on this channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.